Big E, Nick Costos, pleasure. Big E joins us on the show. I would like to start by saying, just so you know, I'm a mark.
I appreciate your candor.
Because we'll have a couple, like MJF's going to come on the show this week, and I've kind of been thinking in my head, because I think you need to know that, right? When you sit down.
I don't know if I need to know, but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to,
So I am, this is where I'll make the interview about me for like 15 seconds, because the fact that I'm sitting here with you, I don't get starstruck around pro athletes. I always have around pro wrestlers. And we're going to talk a ton about Sumer Sports, and I love what you have going on with them. I've been watching since WrestleMania 7. So you are legendary you'll be in the Hall of Fame at some point. I don't think there's any question about it for the work you guys did with the New Day, your work as a singles wrestler. Great to have you on the show, my man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's really great to be here. Just got back from Saudi not that long ago, so my head's spinning a little bit. But the nice thing is I live in Oakland, so I just came across the bridge, and now we're here talking all things the evaluation, Sumer Sports, and the Super Bowl.
I love it. And just for so people know your background, right? So like WWE champion, multi-million-time tag team champion with the New Day. But you played college football, right? And you're a gigantic college football fan, played at Iowa, right?
Yeah.
So tell the audience about that.
No, absolutely. So I was a defensive tackle, a very short defensive tackle at Iowa.
But you're a monster, dude. You probably mauled people.
I tried to. I attempted to. But yeah, man, college football has always been my first love. And I was really, really fortunate to get into wrestling and make my hay there. But yeah, I played for Coach Ferentz. And the really cool thing is he's been there since 1999. The Broyles Award winner, Phil Parker, a few years ago was my DC. He was our D-backs coach at the time, DC now at Iowa, but recruited me 20-something years ago. But, man, I've loved every opportunity I get to work in college football. I was the chief Fiesta officer for the Fiesta Bowl a couple seasons ago.
What does that mean? You just like party?
So I was just an ambassador. I tried to. I was the host of fun. I was. That's all. I was.
And for anyone, and just in case, for anyone that's watched you in WWE, like you are tailor made for that.
I appreciate that,
and
man.
I'm not just saying that. Like it's obvious.
No, thank you very much, man. And it's just I've always loved college football, and I'm so grateful for all the doors that WWE has opened. And this show kind of fell in my lap, kind of came out of nowhere. But man, we got to sit down with so many legends. I got to interview Eli Manning and Marshall Faulk, and I'm talking to Mike Mayock, John Idzik, Jeff, just all these incredible minds when it comes to scouting, when it comes to general managers in the world of football.
So the show is The Evaluation, and our listeners and viewers here on the show, Big E, that's okay? Big E?
Hit me. Yes, Big E is.
It's pretty awesome.
Yes, sir.
Sumer Sports has been known on this show for a long time. Like Eric Eager, who now is like the vice president of analytics for the Panthers, used to work for Sumer Sports, came on the show every week. We had Lindsey Rhodes on the show yesterday, so our audience is familiar with this. I think this is such, and like you're a stud, man. Like you're going to, I'm not just saying that, like you're going to kill it. I'd love to know, because it is a little random, which doesn't mean that it's not going to be awesome. I know it's going to be awesome. But when my executive producer, Bill Zimmerman, said, like, do you want to have Big E on the show? I'm like, well, yes. Like, what's he promoting? This. I was like, A, that's awesome. B, how the hell did this come about? Like, I love this.
Yeah, so I got really, really lucky, man. So I didn't even know this project existed until January 1st. I get a voice note from Kristen Prouty, who used to work at WWE, and she has a really good friend, Holly Goleen. And Holly is the creator of the show, The Evaluation. And she was really in desperate need of a host. They had a few other people that they had tried on and were talking to, and things didn't work out for one reason or another. And she talked to Kristen, and Kristen mentioned my name, and we just started talking. And I sat down with her. She sent me all the material, sent me the interviews with the scouts, a lot of the things that they were building and working on. And I thought, man, this is right up my alley. I love college football. I've seen so many of these prospects. I watched Dante Moore. I know he's not coming out, but we did get into Dante Moore a little bit. I watched him in person. I've watched so many of these guys that we're talking about. And the ability to sit down with so many of these brilliant minds from the world of scouting, general managers, to sit down with these Pro Football Hall of Famers. Got to talk to Joe Thomas, who actually I played against many moons ago when he was at Wisconsin.
How'd it go? Joe Thomas.
The interview went incredible.
No,
when we played, it did not go well for me. The man is a Pro Football Hall of Famer for a reason. But, man, it was such a natural fit. So as soon as I heard about it, I said, yes, I'm in. And thankfully it worked out with the scheduling and everything. And we shot it all in L.A. a couple weeks ago. And it's crazy because things in Hollywood always move at a glacial pace. They take so long. But to hear about this project on January 1st, to have shot it a couple weeks later, to promote it this week, and it comes out February 12th, that's kind of unheard of.
Give us a great, and I'm not asking you to give everything away, and I want everyone to check out the evaluation hosted by Big E, Sumer Sports, talking with former NFL GMs, Eli Manning's on the show, Hall of Famers, etc. Give us a story that someone told you or an anecdote from one of these interviews that has stuck with you that you thought was really awesome, to give our audience a little appetizer for the show to come.
Yeah, there was one of the things I really love is these scouts not only are just talking about the prospects that are coming out now, but they're also sharing stories from their time many moons ago, sitting down and finding the legends of today. So I remember there was one story about one of the scouts who was at the University of Michigan, looking around, and Drew Henson at the time was the quarterback for Michigan.
And Brady was the backup?
Right.
Yeah.
And he's talking, actually, he's going through the building, and one of the janitors stops him and says, look, I know Drew Henson is the starter, but there's a lot of talk in this building about this Tom Brady guy. A lot of the assistant coaches, there's a lot of buzz around this guy. I think you should check him out. And that's what I love we're not just getting insight from we're not just talking about measurables and 40 times and production. We're also talking about what it was like to be boots on the ground at the University of Michigan and what it's like to talk to people in the building, to talk to family members, to have those personal experiences. And that's what I love. We're getting to talk to these scouts who have done it for so long, who have found these gems, who have scouted guys who we all know now as household names.
You love college football.
I absolutely do.
What is crazier? Indiana winning the national championship or college football, or David Arquette winning the WCW title?
I didn't know what the parallel was going to be. The David Arquette
that was not bad, right?
What Indiana has done, what Coach Cignetti has done, in the paradigm that is college football, it's always,
because you played in the Big Ten.
Yes,
it's unbelievable, right?
Indiana was always a doormat. And that never happens in college football. So this new landscape with NIL, the transfer portal, it now allows in Indiana with the right funding, the right perspective. I love it. I think it's great for the game because I would always bemoan the fact, as a huge college football fan, my one issue is the lack of parity. For so long, it's typically the same 6 to 8 programs every single year who dominate. The idea of an Indiana, a basement dweller, being able to build that program up the way they did so quickly and the way they do it, truly unbelievable. It's the best story in my lifetime in college football. I've never seen anything like it. It was so easy to root for Mendoza, despite them being in the Big Ten and beating that loss in Iowa City is such a great game in the rain. But, man, I love what Coach Cignetti's built.
You better you bet on this Tuesday, Westwood One Sports. Nick Costa is joined by WWE legend Big E, who is going to be hosting the evaluation for Sumer Sports. I can't wait to check the show out. Big E is unbelievable. Sumer Sports does a great job. This will be awesome must-watch content as you, our listeners and viewers, get ready for the 2026 NFL Draft. What do you think Fernando Mendoza is going to be like as a pro?
That's a great question, and we get into that in the show as well a little bit. I think he's gonna have a great pro career. I think he's made such big leaps. If you look at his time at Cal, he was obviously very talented, but he made a huge leap at Indiana. I think, look, the Raiders are going to have to put some pieces around him if he does indeed go first overall to Vegas. He's going to need some help there. But I think he's going to have a great career as a pro. To me, he's clearly QB1. I think there's a bit of a drop-off afterwards, but I think he's going to be a great pro.
What about Dante? Dante Moore is obviously going back to Oregon. I think people were a little surprised by that. Obviously, NIL has kind of changed the landscape. A lot of people will say, Big E, that Dante Moore's not ready for the NFL, and maybe he got word that he's not going to go second overall. Maybe it's a day 2 grade. What is your sense of Dante Moore, the pro prospect? Right decision or not to go back to Oregon? Your opinion on Dante Moore?
I'm with you as well. I also thought he was going to come out, but you're right. In this landscape of NIL, if you can get paid and continue to develop, I think we've just seen too many young quarterbacks who don't work out initially. They're kind of thrust out there in the NFL. And if they don't work out, they kind of end up washing out. So if you can spend more time developing, talking to the scouts, I think so many of them really believe, like, the more starts you have under your belt, the better. So I think him going back to Oregon, getting a little bit more experience is going to be a really good thing for him. I thought he was going to be a guy who could come out and be a top 5 pick, but maybe he heard differently. I did watch him carve up my Iowa Hawkeyes in that final drive and
that
deliver
was
a heartbreaker.
Fantastic game.
I remember I was up in the box. I sprint down because I'm storming the field when this game is over. So being on the sideline and watching that heartbreaker of a final drive and watch them kick the game-winning field goal was tough to see. But it was in terrible conditions. He threw dot after dot after dot. I was really impressed with the kid.
I lost money on. I needed the 2-point conversion to go differently for Iowa. That is.
Oh, don't get me started.
That's the story.
Don't
Do you
get
bet?
me started. I can't do it. I
Okay,
can't.
fair enough.
Slippery slope.
Can I ask you about your neck?
Please do.
Okay. For people that don't know, and I want to frame this in what I think is the correct way. So, Big E is. You're a WWE legend, right? You're going to go to the Hall of Fame.
Using the term legend very loosely.
Okay, so maybe not legend in the way like Stone Cold Steve Austin's a legend, but you're going to go to the Hall of Fame. Like, there's no question about it, right? And you had an incident on a SmackDown where, and I obviously, and I don't even want to get into the specifics of it, but you kind of got like a move kind of goes awry. You broke your neck, right?
Yes.
And I just, in the face of like unfathomable adversity, right, where you haven't wrestled since, right?
No, that was it. Yep.
And the way that you have, and I'm not there, and like, I'm sure you had, I don't even want to put myself in that spot, some like really dark moments. But maybe you didn't, but you're a human being, right? Just like the way that you have carried yourself publicly, and I'm sure that's been the case privately, like your positivity in the face of something so like potentially where that could happen and you wouldn't blame someone if they went in the tank. And it's just like, you know what, like maybe this is it for me. And you have gone completely the opposite way. You've carried yourself with tremendous positivity. You have this new show coming out and like you have such like this unbelievable buoyant personality. Like how in the world have you been able to do that? Because I feel like a lot of people would not be strong enough to do what you did. I don't know that I would be strong enough to do what you did in the face of that and be as positive as you've been.
Well, I really appreciate that. So for me, man, I did go in the tank when I had a bunch of injuries in college. I tore my ACL, my left ACL, my right ACL, broke my right patella, tore my left pec, all in 2.5 years. And when I went through those experiences, I did spiral, and it was hard. I had a lot of struggles with depression in college. I was in a psych ward. The fact that I'm even still alive, that I even made it past college, to me is almost a miracle in and of itself. So for me, I ended up going to therapy in college and working on myself. But really what changed the game for me was in 2020, I knew when the pandemic hit and lockdowns were in place that if I didn't do something for my mental health, I was going to be in real trouble with all that isolation. So I decided, there was a friend who suggested this app for mindfulness and meditation, and I decided to start, and I fell in love with it because I noticed I was a lot more present, I was more grateful for life, and it really changed me in so many ways. So I meditate every single day, even if it's just for 10 minutes. I meditate every day. And for me, being in that position where I broke my neck, my focus wasn't on all the things that I missed out on or woe was me or blaming the guy who did it. I was so grateful for life. I was grateful for the support I had. So I really just credit a lot of it to my practice of mindfulness and meditation. And that was it, man. Like, I'm so thankful. Like, when I got to the hospital, doctors told me you were this close to stroke, paralysis, and death. If it wasn't for having a column of a neck to help protect your vertebrae, because there was no displacement. When my C1 broke in 2 places, if my vertebrae had shifted a millimeter back one way or the other, or if those pieces, those bone chips had floated out, that could have been it for me. So with that knowledge in mind, it wasn't, man, my career is over. Man, I don't get to do what I did before. It was, I am so thankful I'm still here. I'm so thankful to not be in pain. I am so thankful to have the support that I do. So that's my focus. And I credit mindfulness and meditation. It's helped me so much because there is so much to be grateful for. My career might be done, but what do I have? Man, I have a great life. I have an incredible life.
And a great career still to come, just a different career, right?
Absolutely.
Are you proud of yourself? I hope you are.
I am. Look, it took a long time for me to be, I used to be someone who was very self-deprecating.
Do people understand, like, what that answer just was? And, like, what you, like, look, I'll gas you up so you don't have to. For people out there that are not fans of WWE, like, you are one of the big, and, like, I know you'll be humble, like, you are one of the biggest stars in the last, like, 10, 15 years of WWE. Career-ending injury, to be as positive, who can do that? Like, you're a stud, dude.
Well,
and now you've got this coming up here. That's why I ask you, because you said you're happy. Happy and proud don't have to be the same thing. I hope you're proud of yourself. I mean that.
I am proud. I am proud. And the lesson that I've learned is so many times something stops. College football was my dream. College football was over. And I thought, what now? And something better, something I couldn't imagine in WWE was right around the corner. So that's the lesson that I've learned is just because your dream or your path in life has come to a close, the thing that you wanted, that doesn't mean something incredible isn't around the corner. And I've been so grateful. I have loved the stuff, the broadcasting side of things. Getting to do that for the PLEs for WWE has been a lot of fun. I have absolutely loved getting to do the stuff I have with Sumer Sports and the evaluation coming out on YouTube February 12th on Sumer Sports YouTube.
We'll promote that again
Absolutely.
before the end. Yeah.
But man, I get to. I'm a voice actor in your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I've already started recording for season 3.
That's awesome.
Like, I look at my life. I look back to college when football was over. I was wildly depressed. I couldn't see a way out. And now looking at my life, I've wrestled Randy Orton in South Africa.
Awesome,
I've been WWE champion.
That's
I took
awesome.
a rock bottom from The Rock. Like, what are we, like, the life I've been afforded is a dream. I am so blessed to be here. I'm here at Super Bowl week, Radio Row, getting to talk to you about the show that I absolutely love doing.
Awesome.
I have nothing to be sad about. I am proud of myself. I am proud of what life has brought. I'm very grateful
You know
for it
what's
all.
so funny, man? I always feel like non-wrestling fans think this is weird. I'm trying to think of how much money I would pay if, like, The Rock walked in here right now and someone said to me, The Rock wants to rock bottom you through a table. Do you want that? I'd be like, do I want it? I'll pay $1,000 for that. Like, you don't think that's weird, right?
No, not.
Like, I want to take a Stone Cold Stunner. Like,
Don't we all?
I'm
Bro,
dying to.
And here's the secret. You talk about being a mark.
Yeah.
Half the locker room, if not more, is marks. We're all marks.
Right?
You should be a mark. That's a good. That's a
it's
good
the
thing.
best. It's
So
the
that
best.
and the fact that we got paid to do that on TV with The Rock, man, I'm grateful.
Can I compliment pro wrestling for a second?
Please
And
do.
then I have a wrestling question for you, if
Yes.
it's okay. I think when for me, like, I'll give you any. So I'm at WrestleMania, the first Rock Cena Mania 28.
Okay.
I'm there.
Yep.
And like that match, people are jumping in the aisles when The Rock won. It was awesome. But that's Triple H, Undertaker, Hell in a Cell before the streak is broken, right? And there's a moment in that match where it's a famous spot, right? So Shawn Michaels is a special guest referee. He's my favorite wrestler ever. Michaels super kicks Undertaker into a pedigree. And in that moment, we're all like, the streak's going to end. 1, 2, Taker kicks out. And I remember I'm with my friend Kevin. We're a lifelong wrestling fan, and we look at each other. I have goosebumps right now. And we both just started laughing because it was so good in that moment that you can't help but laugh. I think now it's not really the case anymore, but pro wrestling has the ability, for me, it becomes Shakespeare in moments like this, where when you're able to suspend your disbelief and you're in that moment and you're like, oh, you're so invested and something else happens, that's when it becomes like this art form that I feel like can't be reached that often. Curious, like, your opinion on that statement. I'm gushing about pro wrestling and now not asking you a question.
No, you're spot on. I think in pro wrestling, you're going to have to sit through a lot. That's not great. But when we nail it, my God, you're right.
Oh, my God, it's the best.
I think of the Sami Zayn bloodline turn. When Sami turned, when that payoff was so beautiful. I think of Daniel Bryan's run. I think of Kofi Mania. I think of all these
Mania
moments.
was sick.
When you have these moments that are nailed, and I love it in wrestling, you're talking about just building a great false finish. I love when you can hook an audience and you know you're going to get them. That the rhythm of that, the super kick, I remember that moment, and I remember how it felt, and I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it now too. But that is the beauty of what we do. When we tell great stories, when it all unfolds the way it's supposed to, there is nothing like it. Look, I'm not saying it's all great. A lot of it's not very good.
You know what's funny?
But
I watch sometimes I'll go back. The Attitude Era sucked. Like, it did.
Don't get me. You're gonna get this clipped off and have me involved.
No. I promise. Like, I'm not looking. This is my opinion.
Yep.
When I was a teenager, is the greatest thing of all time.
Sure, of course.
Then you go back and watch it though, and it's like this is not very. It's not very good, man. I'm not asking you to say. I mean that sincerely. One wrestling question. What is Big E's all-time favorite? Not that you're involved in. Your favorite wrestling match of all time is what and why?
Oh, maybe this is for so Ron Simmons. I was a big Florida State fan as a kid. Ron Simmons was I think was a top 5 Heisman finalist while at Florida State, which is unheard of at in football. That doesn't happen for
won
no
the
tackles.
WCW title in the early 90s.
I think, and I was a huge WCW guy. Ron Simmons beating Vader, that moment.
Oh, man.
Where
Yeah.
what I love about that match is I love that when people really believed.
Yeah.
I think now the veil has been lifted, that so many of us, we know how wrestling works, and we get sucked into stories. But at the time, the way people reacted, just seeing how much, it felt like Jackie Robinson.
That's awesome.
That was such a pivotal
He was the first
moment for
black
my
world
fandom.
champion.
Absolutely. So, and then meeting Ron Simmons, and he is such a stand-up dude, man.
Damn.
He's such a great guy, and I was a huge
right.
Vader fan
Of
as
course.
well.
Yeah.
So that Ron Simmons beating Vader for his first world championship for me was it.
Do you think WWE Unreal is a good idea? I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm not going
God.
to put you.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
God.
I'm kidding. Who do you like in the Super Bowl?
Oh, in the Super Bowl, you know what?
Seattle, a 4.5-point favorite in the game against. You don't have to give. You have to like a betting.
I don't want to be too chalky.
Who do you
but
like to win?
I'm going with Seattle. I like the Sam Darnold story. I think is really beautiful. I love this next run for him. They've been playing really good football, so I'm going Seattle.
One more time, tell the audience about the evaluation on the Sumer Sports YouTube page debuting February 12th.
Yes, sir. February 12th, you can watch the evaluation on Sumer Sports YouTube. We sit down with. I got to talk to Eli Manning. I got to talk to Marshall Faulk. I'm sitting down with the GMs, the scouts who've been doing this for a very long time, talking about the prospects coming out for this year's NFL draft. It is a ton of fun. Please, if you're a football fan, tune in.
You're a stud, dude.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Man. I appreciate it.
Big E joining us here on You Better You Bet. More right after this.